mighty fine. Let's go. I love that song. I know some of you guys hate this song. I love this freaking song. It's so perfect for a day like today. This is Gary's running his Gary right now is jerking the hell off right now. Oh my God. Could you imagine how Gary's thinking right now? All his trolls on Twitter trolling them all week. And Gary wakes up to see this. Gary right now is rubbing his little dirty lizard hands, all right down everyone's spine. He has destroyed everyone's spine right now. Holy mother trucker. Oh my Lord. All right, let's get into the charts, guys. The great cleanse is here. Like, this is insane. I woke up this morning, I was like, all right, Bitcoin's at the same price. You know, I always wake up, I check Bitcoin's price. I was like, all right, Bitcoin got a little bit of a dump, back down to support. I'm not surprised. You know, I might wake up, I might put a long in because Bitcoin's at support. All right, it's a normal day in crypto. And then I went to the crypto list. And then I went to the altcoin list, and I was like, oh my Lord, what the hell happened to the altcoins? Oh my Lord, I was absolutely in shock seeing altcoins down 20%, 30%. Oh my Lord. The great shakeout, or I gotta say the great shakeout, the great cleansing is upon us. Oh my Lord. Like, I woke up in absolute awe of the red that I saw this morning. It's been a while since we saw a day like this, my friends. Cheers to everyone that's, you know, unfortunately, I mean, we all got affected by it a little bit, but even the commodities got sent. Shit, Litecoin got sent back to the shadow realm. XRP got sent back to the shadow realm. What the frick? Even the commodities got sent. Anyways, what was some causes for this dip? Dude, all the leverage is gone from crypto. Like, all the longs are absolutely wiped out right now, right? So, you know, obviously we can dramatize this and let's talk about it. So, we had a hedge fund that had liquidation, right, this week, and they might have actually liquidated stuff this morning, and that might have caused the initial sell-off. But man, I think it was just an absolute cascade of all the leverage just getting absolutely destroyed in the space, and spot sellers just absolutely panicking out of those altcoins when they woke up this morning, man. Absolutely insane. And this morning we got a funny little meme. I thought it was kind of funny. Altcoins trying to pump. Altcoins trying to bounce after this morning. I thought this was kind of funny. You guys might not think it's funny. But yeah, the altcoins definitely trying to bounce, and this is them trying to bounce right now off of support. It's looking nice for them. There they go. Look at them. They're bouncing off support. Oh Lord. Yeah, but not the best day. Not the best day out there for the altcoins, and that is definitely for sure. Bitcoin actually holding up at 25.6, at least for now. We'll see if that changes throughout the day. But man, I think all we can say is absolute man. Holy Lord Almighty. Now, we talked a little bit about this last night, right? And we were looking at the total 3 chart last night, guys, and we said, dude, total 3 was sitting right here last night. Right here. Oops. Total 3 was sitting right here last night. And this is basically total 3 minus stable coins. All right. And we were talking about this last night, and we were like, dude, this thing is right at the June low. I would be very cautious right here because if this goes, this is going to go all the way back down to probably this level here, if not the bottom of this channel. And what do you know, right? As soon as that sort of like the market even got a hint of that breaking, boom, right to the downside. So this is another one of those times, guys. Like, you know, when you're on sort of the wrong side of the foot, we like to blame, right? But I think when this was starting to break yesterday, that was a very, very good sign that altcoins were a little bit risky at that current moment. You know, and as soon as that gave way, boom, we came right back down to this support. And now we're like, are we going to come lower to come back down to the bottom of this channel? I will say this, okay? I will say this. This is just my opinion on altcoins right now, and I've been saying this the last few days. Ever since Gensler came out attacking all the top altcoins, right? He came out attacking Atom, I mean, ADA, Matic, Solana. Ever since he kind of came out and attacked all these top alts, it's been a little bit, you got to be a little bit hesitant, right? Because my logical question is this. What big money is going to want to come in and buy alts right now, right? I'm thinking about this from a logical perspective. What big money is going to want to come in and buy alts until there's some regulatory clarity? I don't know. For me personally, I'd rather wait for some strength to buy altcoins. If I start to see some strength and we get some like good news or something, I'd rather buy higher on the altcoins than rather trying to catch the falling knife to the downside. I'm not going to say don't take longs. I think that I saw some of you guys in the Discord with some good longs last night and some good shorts. Shout out to you guys.
Strap
I was
up,
sleeping
we're
like
going
a
to
little
the
baby.
moon.
I was sleeping like a little baby this morning. But I saw some of you guys killed some longs from the lows, man. Because some of the alts got some nice bounces off the lows, and you guys crushed those. I saw Bath with his Monero long. I saw Chewy put 100x long from the low. I think on Cardano. Chewy out there crushing the low. But yeah, so interesting. You lost that June low. Now you're kind of flirting with this December low. It's interesting in here, man. It's very, very, very interesting for total 3. That's all we can really say at the moment, man. I was shitting my pants like a little baby. No, some of you guys crushed some longs, bro. Like, if this ends up being the low, right? Because I'll say this, right? From a logical perspective, right? What usually causes bottoms, okay? What usually causes bottoms is big capitulation events, okay? And I think right now you can look at this as a big capitulation event. Now, I'm not going to come in here and call a bottom on the altcoin market just yet. I think it's a little bit too early to say that, right? But what usually causes bottoms is these big, massive capitulation candles, right? These candles where it's doom and gloom, it's horrible, right? I'm not going to sit here and call the bottom on altcoins just yet. I want nothing to do with that game, right? I want to wait a little bit to see what happens in here. But, man, that's a candle. If we actually let's bring up the volume real quick. Do we have any volume on this shit? What's the volume coming in? Oh, it's actually pretty low. Huh. Interesting. It's actually pretty low compared to the FTX dump. At least now. But it's an early day, right? I mean, I guess it's not really low because it's only 10 o'clock, right? There's all day to go on today. So I guess it's not necessarily low considering only half the day is over. Like shit, man. That is insane. So altcoin market cap, I mean, you're at that December low now, right? So it's a little interesting in there, right? You kind of swung fail it this morning, came back up. We'll see how we close the week, but man, it's interesting. I can go through the charts, guys. I'll say this. A lot of them are kind of bouncing back above those December lows. And I think the best kind of case scenario is, okay, we break these lows. Like this is Cardano, right? The best case scenario is we break these lows and we get some type of swing fail. And then we end up kind of holding in here. If we can hold in here, I think that's a good sign as far as a low, a swing fail, and then we kind of hold in here, right? But once again, that's still kind of me waiting to see, okay, can we build a little bit of a base, a little bit of a W formation or something in there for me to be a little bit more confident that's the low, right? But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, at least so far, they're kind of getting a little bit of a bounce, but nothing really that crazy yet. Smack the likes. Shout out to Interactive, man. Shout out to Interactive. I wish we were on the stream because we were all pumping, man. Listen, I wish we were on the stream because we're all pumping, but it is what it is. It is what it is, man. I wish we were on the stream for better circumstances that altcoins were pumping 20% instead of dumping 20%, man. You know, it is what it freaking is. I will say this, though. There were probably a lot of Bitcoin and ETH. I would say more Bitcoin maxis today. What I'll say about Ethereum, guys, is if you're going to go full Bitcoin ETH maxi mode, just be careful with Ethereum too, right? At any moment, Gary can come out and call ETH a security. And I have the news refreshing all the time. And as soon as I see Gary come out and say ETH is security, I'm selling my ETH back into Bitcoin, right? So even I'm like, Ethereum, man, you know? But, you know, there's a lot of Bitcoin and ETH maxis probably born today, especially after today, right? And now I don't want to be like, okay, this to that, but I think the longer you're in this market, this is what I say, the longer you're in this market, the more you hold more Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? I've talked about altcoins, and I still buy altcoins when I see good opportunities, right? I've been talking about XRP. I've been talking about Litecoin. Those got sent to the shadow realm today. Now I'm still up on where I bought those because we buy supports, not resistance, right? But man, like, it's just insane. Insane. I did not expect to see that get sent to the shadow realm. But my kind of rant, the longer you're in this market, the more you sort of realize you should become a Bitcoin ETH maxi. I've been saying that the last like week, and it is so true, man. Like, This is another day where I'm like, okay, okay, we're buying a Bitcoin and ETH. Like I'm really tempted to buy some Matic today, right? I'm really tempted to buy some Matic today, but then I look and I'm like, yeah, I'm going ETH. Oh Lord. Let's see. Brian said, the longer I'm in this market, the more I hate myself in this market. That is true, too. That is true. What I'll say about this, guys, is I know we look at this as a negative, right? But, I'm kind of just talking today. I hope you don't mind. I'm kind of just spitting my thoughts out and whatever. What I'll say about this is, we want Bitcoin dominance to go up. And that's one of the things we've been talking about is, okay, an altcoin season would be great. But typically during this time, we see Bitcoin dominance go up, right? And we needed some type of catalyst for that to happen. And now you're seeing Bitcoin dominance go to the upside, right? We'll see how the week closes. It'll be interesting to see if this like kind of swing fails up here. But now you got Bitcoin dominance breaking to the highest level since April of 2021, right? And this is one of the things we've been talking about, right? For the health of the space, and I've been saying this even before we had this whole SEC altcoin shenanigan. I've been saying consistently, like, dude, there's way too many altcoins in this space, man. There's too many altcoins that do the exact same thing. There's too much shit in this space. And listen, I'm down to trade the shit, right? If a shit is looking good, I will trade the shit out of that shit, right? The shit is the trade. But there's way too many shit in this space, right? And we sort of said, dude, there's like 25,000 altcoins on CoinMarketCap. It's insane how many altcoins there are. And my thinking was, how do we get 25,000 coins to all go into a bull market at the same time? And it leads me back to the sort of thinking of something needs to happen to clear out the shit, right? So eventually, and I sort of had this hypothesis a few days ago, what if this next Bitcoin bull market is people selling altcoins into Bitcoin, right? It's a weird little conspiracy. And you haven't really seen it yet, to be honest. But it's definitely something interesting to talk about. But yeah, you got Bitcoin dominance coming up. I still think it's probably coming up to at least 52%. At least 52%. ETH dominance is actually coming down a little bit today. ETH dominance, at this point, I probably expect ETH dominance to continue up to 22%. I think those will continue to go up. But mostly Bitcoin dominance. I think big money right now probably doesn't even feel comfortable buying Ethereum. Big money probably only feels comfortable buying Bitcoin at the moment, right? Dude, listen, if I had $1 billion right now, right? And I'm sort of thinking to myself, if I had $1 billion right now, what the hell would I want to buy? Okay? If I really wanted to get exposure to crypto, what the hell would I buy? I would probably just buy Bitcoin when I think about it, right? And this is coming from someone who is in love with an altcoin, right? But I probably would just buy Bitcoin, if I'm going to be honest, And I know this sounds like doom and gloom and like, oh my God, this could mark the low. But we also said that yesterday, like everyone's like, oh, Jordan's bearish on altcoins. It's the low. Yeah, I mean, okay, we can say that, right? But it is what it is. We'll see how the rest of the week kind of plays out for altcoins, guys. But Bitcoin dominance going up. You got ETH dominance pulling back a little bit today, but still just in an uptrend. Tether dominance, man, this one just ripped that resistance. So that one is looking bullish as hell now. You just ripped that resistance on USDT. So that's coming up. You got the highest level since January on USDT dominance. Absolutely crazy up there. But absolutely crazy. Crazy shit going on in the markets. Man. That's all I can say, guys. Just it's crazy. But overall, I kind of said this. I think this is good for crypto in the long run. I know it sucks for everyone that's like holding a heavy altcoin bag, and I know that's kind of like it's kind of like it sucks, right? It sucks if you're holding like 100% of your bag in like Matic and Sol and ADA, right? It sucks. It sucks. It's not something you want to see. But I think overall for the space, it's good, right? It's good to see more money going back into Bitcoin at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, it's Bitcoin season anyways. You know what I mean? So That's kind of where I'm at. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Automatic Beats, what's up, bro? Oh, let's get Bitcoin up, man. Can we get Bitcoin up? As far as Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin's at a point where like this is where I look for a long, right? So obviously we could just continue to dump here for Bitcoin, but as far as a trade goes, this is where I'm looking for longs on Bitcoin. I actually took a long on Ethereum when I woke up this morning, so I am in a long on ETH. I'm waiting to see if ETH can kind of swing fail this low, right? So ETH kind of dumped slightly below where it was on May 12th. So I'm going to ETH long right now, looking for it to bounce, just because Bitcoin's at a level where I think it bounces, right? And ETH dumped a little bit more, so it's kind of why I took an ETH long more than a Bitcoin long. But yeah, Bitcoin's at sort of that range, right? It's at a range low, right? So Bitcoin's been at this range low a few times. So I'm going to ETH long, just looking for Bitcoin to bounce and then for ETH to bounce, right? So Bitcoin just in a range, right? We talked about this yesterday. If Bitcoin comes back down to the bottom of the range, I'm looking for a long back up on Bitcoin. So I'm kind of just playing it like that. Obviously, if it comes back lower, we get stopped out. All right, cool. But at the end of the day, you know, we're still kind of in this wedge, which, you know, it's funny. It's funny, depending on what happens this weekend, right? And this does not go for altcoins. I'm gonna remind you guys. This TA and this analysis has nothing to do with altcoins. This is Bitcoin only, all right? So kind of like we've been saying the last few days, don't focus on the alts. The alts look like shit. You know what I mean? You know, it is what it is at the moment. But as far as Bitcoin goes, Bitcoin's still in this falling wedge. If it breaks down, cool. There's a chance that it breaks down for sure. But Bitcoin's still above 25.2, right? And we got the catalyst coming up next week, which will be interesting, right? You got Bitcoin dumping, and we still have these catalysts coming up next week, which is in 3 days, we got CPI report. We got the XRP emails. We got the FOMC meeting coming up the day after. And then we got Coinbase versus SEC the day, on Wednesday as well. So we still have these catalysts. If Bitcoin can still just kind of waddle in here, which we said it probably just waddles in here until next week, right? If Bitcoin can hold up this weekend into those events, I think that's a pretty good sign at the end of the day. So I still like Bitcoin here. Altcoins, right? I guess if Bitcoin gets a bounce, you might see altcoins get a bounce too, right? But for Bitcoin, as always, what do we say for Bitcoin, guys?
Nothing has changed.
Can you guys even hear that shit? I can't hear that shit. Can you guys hear that nothing has changed? Let me know in the chat. Can you guys hear that nothing has changed?
Nothing has changed.
There we go. Yeah, nothing's changed for Bitcoin. If we start breaking 25.2, something's changed. Oh, something's changed, all right. But yeah, still kind of just holding in there for Bitcoin. So not really much to add there on the corn, at least right now, right? At least right now. So that's where we're at on the corn, man. Let's see. Fahid said Bitcoin won't crash because all alts will move to Bitcoin. Yeah, I think that's what you're seeing that a little bit today. I think you're definitely seeing a little bit of that today. You guys can hear that nothing has changed? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, but for Bitcoin, nothing really changed. You're just testing the low again, right? Which sets you up perfectly. Like, at the end of the day, right, we don't know what's going to happen this weekend. Maybe another hedge fund goes under and Bitcoin dumps, right? We have no clue, right? Let's be honest. Like, were you expecting this morning to wake up and see altcoins down 25%? No, let's be honest. Even the biggest bear, even if you were the biggest grizzly bear, like Savvy coming out, right? You weren't expecting altcoins to be down 25% this morning. You might have maybe expected 5%, right? Maybe 10%, but 25? No, you're not expecting that. Craziness. So we don't know what's going to happen the rest of this weekend. But like I said, if Bitcoin just holds the line in here until Tuesday, I think there's some optimistic signs that could make Bitcoin go up to the upside, right? Not necessarily altcoins. We'll see, right? But if Bitcoin gets a bounce, you would expect alts to at least hold up, right? So that's kind of Bitcoin. It's whatever. Ethereum, back in an interesting spot though. We look at Ethereum in here. You're right back at that bull market support band, you know? So if this capitulation on altcoins will mark a low, which, you know, as much as doom and gloom that I sound on altcoins, guys, remember this, okay? I'm not looking to catch the falling knife, but for the people that are, what usually marks lows are the big capitulations, right? So I don't know. If this marks a low for alts, you know, that would be a good point for Ethereum to once again bounce off that bull market support band. We'll see. right? Once again, if Gary wants to come after ETH, I'm selling it right back into Bitcoin. Trust me on that one. But yeah, it's the same thing for Ethereum. Is if Bitcoin can hold up during the weekend, you expect Ethereum to hold up over the weekend and just kind of do its thing in this range, right? So that's kind of my thought process on Ethereum as well. As Ethereum got sent back down to pretty much where it was back on May 8th at the moment. So that's where we're caught on that. Other than that, man, just a crazy day, guys. Just a crazy day. We'll kind of just hang out for a little bit. But man, you got to say, it's crazy. Link fully cycled. Hasn't been this cheap in 3 to 4 years. That's true. But yeah, what I'll say about the altcoins, guys, is I know it's doom and gloom out there and it's like, holy shit. But, you know, once again, just remember, right? These things are down 22%, 23%, 24% on the day. Okay, absolutely insane. As much doom and gloom that I might sound, okay, a lot of these times, these big weekly candles, okay, can mark lows. Okay, these candles can mark lows. Just remember that, right? So me personally, the way that my portfolio is set up, I know I like Bitcoin better at this point anyways, as far as upside. But a lot of the times, these can mark lows. Okay, we've said it with Bitcoin. A lot of the big FUD and the big red candles can mark the lows. You know, I'm not ballsy enough to call the low here, but I know that these type of big fear candles can come out and do their thing. And if we can, this is just Cardano for example, like if we can hold the line at the January low and kind of swing fail it in here and kind of have a little bit of lower lows and higher lows, like bullish divergence coming in here, and this can kind of hold in here for a little bit like this, there's a chance that that could be the low, right? But I need to see a little bit more sign in here at the end of the day for that to be the case, because you have some signs, right? You have the swing fail, you have the bullish divergence, you have that. It's just there's a lot of shit going on with these things right now. Matic, right? Just to look at a few of these. Matic basically, let me see where Matic came down to. Matic break all the fib levels. So you kind of just, Matic's kind of in no man's land. But you got, let me look at some of the other ones that are popular in here. Solana, right? Solana's actually back down to this order block in here, which is interesting. Solana back down to that little order block in there in the weekly. But yeah, once again, I think Cardano's a good example. You're not really seeing that from many different alts, but Cardano's a great example of that kind of swing fail at the lows. Doge, man, Doge got sent. Doge back down to those weekly lows. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. But just remember, like, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because you have, man, people are doing work today. I love it, man. People are going into work. This truck is loud as shit. Can you guys hear that truck? He's got to get some new brakes on that truck. Like, shit, man. He's got to get some new brakes on that truck. Shit. Man. Let's see. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, I guess it's a tough one, right? Because you haven't really seen this before, where we've seen big capitulations on altcoins, but we haven't seen it because they're called secure, like they're all getting called securities and they're getting attacked by the U.S. We've never seen that kind of FUD. Craziness, right? So we'll see. All right, Bitcoin looks like it is 25,688. I said I am in an ETH long at the moment. Kind of just trading this fear a little bit because there's a lot of fear right now. So I like I said, I know a lot of you guys already killed a freaking long. Unfortunately, I was sleeping this morning, so I did not have any alerts set this morning. If I did, I probably would have took a long a little bit earlier, but shit. I know some of you guys are probably in some Bitcoin longs. Some of you guys are probably in some ETH longs. Some of you guys are probably in some altcoin longs at the moment. I would say, the best time to long is after the fear, right? Obviously, you stop losses, don't get wrecked. But, yeah, like I said, I saw a lot of you guys kill some shits. Look at Chainlink. Chainlink, woo, man. Look at Link the Slink. Bro.
Everybody panic, we're going to zero.
That's craziness, man. Look at Link the Slink. Link the Slink, lowest price since July of 2020. Basically resetting the entire 2020 bull run. That is insane, man. That is absolutely insane. Link breaking these lows. Now here's the real test, right? Here is where you really test the strength of things, right? Because, you know, Chainlink, for example, this is kind of like the Cardano chart. It's kind of like the Cardano chart, right? Where Cardano's break into new lows. But once again, a lot of the times these candles can mark lows where if Link can find some strength and get back in here, if Link can find some strength and get back in here, or, you know, you're going to need a big pump to close this above by the weekly close, but this is kind of ugly, to be honest. This candle looks ugly, to be honest, so far. Like, there's no wick. Maybe that changes. I don't know. But if Link can get back into the range, all right, you might be looking pretty good. Because you do have, once again, and I would say, this is a perfect example where if I'm buying spot, I'm not talking about trades, right? If I'm trying to buy some spot Link right now, for me personally, and this is just the way I'm looking at it, right? I would rather wait for Chainlink to get back into the range where I can buy it in here, right? Than buy it when it's kind of catching a falling knife, right? That's just my style. You know, I would rather buy it up higher than buy it here where it could continue lower, right? So, but once again, if Link can get back into the range, close in here with a little bit of, you know, lower lows and higher lows, there's a chance like this big capitulation could end up being the low, right? But I want to see, once again, I want to see a little bit strength in here. Give me a little bit of strength from Link to Slink. And then we can start talking where you got the swing fail at the weekly, you got the bullish divergence on the weekly. But I need to see a little bit of strength first, right? But there could be the sign, right? There could definitely be the sign. Right now, there ain't no sign. There ain't no sign at the moment. But man, you have basically came back all the way to these range highs. Look at that, man. All the way back to the February 2020 highs, June 19 highs. Craziness. Craziness for Link to Slink. Craziness, man. But, you know, once again, if you can show some strength in here, there are some possible signs of some strength. But right now, there ain't none. There ain't none strength. Let's see. Bass said, 1 full year of accumulation, stop hunt low, boom, Link is free. That's what I'm talking about, right? I completely agree with Bath. A lot of these times, these big lows, right? These big candles, when you break the lows, can look fantastic, right? And this would be kind of that Wyckoff, right? And you guys like look at the Wyckoff. So Bitcoin already went through its Wyckoff at the low, right? This actually kind of reminds me of Bitcoin's low, right? If we go back to Bitcoin, what did we see? We saw 1 low, 2 lows, right? Big range. We saw the big capitulation candle below. Boom. And then we got back into the range. And that was the low for Bitcoin, right? I think we can all agree that was kind of the low for Bitcoin, unless we see some crazy shit go down. I don't even know what would happen to make Bitcoin go lower again. But now we kind of got like these altcoins doing the same thing, where we got low, we got a low, we got the dump. Now, once again, if this can end up being the low in here, right? And this kind of chops and we kind of get back up into here, that's exactly the Wyckoff, man, where you have 1, 2, you got the spring phase. If the spring phase can push you up, you got some good signs on the altcoins, right? But I need to see, and this is kind of like just risk, right? This is kind of just risk for me. I need to see some strength. If you get some strength, boom, that's looking, all of a sudden, that's looking very, very good. What was looking very, very bad is looking very, very good, right? So that's what I would say. But I want to get back above these lows, though. Just for Link, right? Let's see. Bandito said MNDE. Nice. Bandito said MNDE, please. I'm sure it looks like all the other altcoins, right? I'm sure it looks like all the other alts, man. Which you know, all look at. I appreciate the super chat, though. Let's look at MDE for my guy, Bandito. MNDE. Which I'm sure is looking like a lot of them. This one got sent, and actually it got a nice little bounce in there. So yeah, this one's actually holding up very, very well, man. Not a lot of, there's some more on the chart here. Not a lot of data on the chart, unfortunately, my man. But let's go over here. MD. Okay, give me this chart. Gate to IO. There we go. This one actually held up very well. Guess you got sent to the downside, but you're actually holding up in here, right above these kind of weekly order blocks in there. Right? So you got boom, 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 but it looks like you're, if that was the low for alts, if that was the capitulation low, which I would not be surprised if it is. I also wouldn't be surprised if it isn't. But you're kind of bouncing, dude, right at those weekly lows in there. And that weekly candle actually looks pretty good. Like, that looks pretty good. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. Other than that, there's not much to really add other than, okay, cool. We broke out. We back tested. We closed above these highs. You'd be looking for continuation at that point. Obviously, if it breaks back below that, it's probably looking a little shady. You got this big wick down here in the weekly, which still looks a little shady. You know, so keep in mind, there is a big wick. A lot of times they come for those big wicks in here. But as it stands right now, this one actually looks pretty good. At least on the weekly chart. On the big time frames, you know. Happy Saturday. Everything will be okay. I agree. I think, you know, it sucks in the moment. And it really does suck in the moment. But I will say this. It's good to flush out the trash, right? But I mean, when I flush out the trash, what I mean is flush out the trash in the short term, right? Flush out the trash that's in the space. Like the hedge funds. Get rid of those hedge funds that, quite frankly, are way too overinvested in crypto. They're way too overinvested in altcoins. Flush out that trash, all right? Get rid of those hedge funds. Like, so another hedge fund went down today. Get rid of these guys. These guys take way too much risk. They don't control their risk. And they just basically FOMO into altcoins during a bull market, right? Get rid of these guys, okay? Cause the capitulation, which causes these guys, the big money, to get destroyed, which at the end of the day, right, sets up some interesting opportunities, potentially, right? Like AVAX, right? Let's look at AVAX. AVAX in here. This has a potential to be the spring phase if it can hold, right? Because what did you do, right? Let's take a look. AVAX, what did you do in here? Boom. You swung fail the weekly low, right? You had the low. You basically got absolutely sent to the downside. But what did you do? So far, the keyword is so far. Once again, it's all about seeing strength over the next couple weeks. We can hold for the next couple weeks. It ain't looking too shabby. And then we basically have the first low, the second low, the third low, right, with the swing fail, and, right, a little bit of the weekly bullish divergence. Now, that's not saying you still can't see one more flush. You certainly could still see one more flush, but you'd still have the weekly bullish divergence in here, right? Actually, 3 drives of weekly bullish divergence. Look at that. Look at that. You got 3 higher lows, and you got 3 lower lows right in there, right? So you got the weekly bullish divergence coming in. Boom. Doesn't mean you can't still get one more flush, but if we can kind of hold the line in here with that weekly swing fail, there's a chance that this could end up being the low for Avalanche, right? But I think that requires some patience, right? I think that requires some patience in here, where it goes back to my saying is this could be the low, but I'd rather wait for some strength, you know? Like I'd rather buy up 20% higher, me personally. That's just my risk tolerance at the moment. I'd rather buy 20% higher with some good news or some shit than sort of catch a falling knife in here. But I know a lot of people have that higher risk tolerance still, right? Or that higher risk tolerance that's like, you know what, I'm gonna buy this shit right now. And that's cool, man. That's cool. Sometimes the best buys are just like, you know what? F this. I'm going all in right now, right? And sometimes the millionaires and billionaires get made because someone says, you know what? F this shit. I'm going in right freaking here. And look at this person. If you bought this low right here, you're already up 13% on your Avalanche, man. Right? So once again, don't get all doom and gloom. I think there is a lot of doom and gloom at the moment when there is a potential that doom and gloom can actually be the low. But that's not me saying, you know, put all your life savings in the altcoins, right? That's me saying there's a chance that this capitulation could be the low for alts. So see some strength. I think that's the time where we could say, you know what? If Bitcoin's holding up and Bitcoin can continue up from here, and the altcoins kind of hold out in here, could be a chance that you start to see these come up with some type of good news, with some like clarity on altcoins, with some shit like that, right? So that's kind of the situation we're in right now, and we just kind of have to deal with it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is. The name Avalanche seems appropriate right now looking at the chart. It does. It does, Wade. It definitely does. Bass said, F this shit. I'm going in right here, right? But like I said, a lot of these are like, so, you know, like not to like bring up the Wyckoff, but a lot of these altcoins, okay, are basically doing what Bitcoin did just way later, right? They're basically, like if you look at the Bitcoin chart on the weekly, a lot of the altcoins look like they're right here, right? A lot of the altcoins look like they're right here on that chart, where Bitcoin's way ahead because we know Bitcoin leads the market, right? And we've already kind of seen like the June low, right? This was kind of like the January low for altcoins, and this is kind of like now for altcoins right here, right? So like I said, just to kind of compare, right? It's like kind of like the June low for Bitcoin, the FTX crash for Bitcoin, and now you got sort of like where you are now, right? So, you know, they're there. It's on the chart. Now we just need to see if it plays out. And if it plays out and you start to see some strength in here and all of a sudden you see a little spring, that could be a time where you're like, all right, let's freaking go, man. It's time to rock and roll. Until then, as always, just basically invest based off your risk. Some of you guys are risky. Some of you guys are like at the casino, like, boom, I'm going all in red, baby. I'm going all in red, you know? And then some people a little bit more cautious, you know, a little bit more cautious. You might have been in this space for a long time. You might have seen some shit go down. You might have some PTSD, right? So you're like, you know what? I'm going to wait for a little bit of strength, and then I'm going to go into alts. But a lot of them are showing that structure in here. And we could look at a few more examples. We already looked at Link, which was like kind of a good example in there. Link was a good example. I think like Shib. Man, look at Shib. Holy guacamole. Look at Shib in there. Let me just clear out Shib. So Shib, man. Shib got sent to the shadow realm. Holy guacamole. This one went down to 47. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. What happened to Shib? You telling me Shib went down 43% at one point this week? Holy guacamole. Holy shit. All right, so like for Shib, right? Right here. Boom. All right, so Shib took out those lows. All right? So boom, we got Shib. 1, 2, all right? Now, here's the real test, right? So that is the definition of a capitulation candle right there. That is the definition of a capitulation candle. When you see a weekly candle down 43%, it's hard to be like ultra bearish on something that drops 43% in a week. You know, like, so now here's the real test for Shib. Okay, here's the real test for Shib. You actually tested the lows that you were at in 2021 on Shib right there, right? Boom. So now here's the real test, and where you have the first low, the second low. Now it seems like doom and gloom. It seems like the world's ending right now, right? And I would agree. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. But looking at this, okay, seeing a 50% candle getting absolutely destroyed on Shib, not good. If you're in Shib, you're probably hurting right now, right? But here's where the real test is. Next week, I've been saying this. Next week, we know we have some catalysts for the markets next week. We've got a lot of catalysts for the market next week, right in here, okay? It's kind of funny how this kind of all plays out. So you get the big capitulation the week before we have a bunch of catalysts, right? Big capitulation. This shook out everyone that was in Shib. You were in a leverage long from Shib, you're out. right? You were a little shrimp that was in shrimp, you're out, right? Now is the real test, because this could end up being the spring phase, right? This could end up being the spring. Once again, we don't have any signs of that yet, right? But this could end up being the spring phase for shit. Whereas this, if this starts coming up, right, and gets back above these lows, all of a sudden, you got the Wyckoff in here, where you got the first low, the second low, the spring phase, with mass capitulation in here. And if this gets back up, you basically got your first high, your second high. Then for whatever reason, once again, you never know what causes this, okay? If this starts to work its way back up into here, you got the definition of the Wyckoff in here, all right? Obviously, we need a lot of things to happen. I don't know what would cause the market to do this, okay? But this is kind of like what a Wyckoff is all about, is you get the massive fear in here. Now you have to wait for what causes the massive euphoria. You know what I mean? I don't know, but like there's a chance, there's a potential that is the case. Once again, I want to see some strength before I'm like gonna be like, let's go, man. I'm throwing this amount of money in SHIB right now. I want to see some strength first, for me personally. That's just my risk tolerance at the moment, right? But man, like there's definitely an interesting take in here, where you kind of got the same setup Bitcoin had on the weekly back in this zone, right? Back in here. 1, 2, big crash. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, right? It seemed like doom and gloom. Out of nowhere, you got to move up. It'll be interesting, right? I think it'll be really interesting. Let's see. Bob drowning in his sorrows in the Mountain Dew. Yeah. Bob is drowning in his sorrows in the damn Mountain Dew. Oh, Bobby. Bobby, that dude. We already know what Bob's doing right now. This is Bob right now, guys. This is Bobby. He's flipping everyone off. Oh, my Lord. Look at this, bro. That's Bobby right now. He's not very happy at the moment, man. he's not very happy at the moment. Bobby woke up to a 50% candle to the downside, and he was just in awe. You know, but you know, like I kind of been saying, guys, I know there's all it's gonna be brutal for probably. It's gonna be brutal until at least next week, guys. You're gonna see a lot of negativity and shit like that, and I agree at the moment, right? There's not a lot of I agree, like, dude, there's not a lot of good signs for altcoins right now. There's not. But a lot of times when it seems like the worst, that's actually when that's actually the spring phase. It goes me back to Bitcoin, where, dude, when you have the FTX crash, the whole space was just, dude, this time period right here was the most depressing time period I've ever seen for crypto. It was right in here, man. It seemed like everything was negative. FTX crashed. All you heard was contagion. You had Coin Bureau sell his whole portfolio down here. You had Gareth Soloway calling for 8K. You had Tino calling for 8K. It seemed like the worst time period back in here, right? But it actually ended up being the best time period. You know, and obviously comparing Bitcoin to altcoins is completely different. I know, okay? There's no second best, is the famous saying, okay? Bitcoin is the best. It's the best, okay? Bitcoin is the hardest asset in the world. It's actually technically the softest asset because it doesn't really exist, right? But here we are, right? In the same kind of phase for the altcoins. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. It is what it is. So that's kind of what you got going on right now. It seems bad. It is kind of bad, right? I think we can all kind of sit and say, damn, this is pretty bad. But I also don't want you guys to be, I also don't want you to feed you like FOMO, man. Like, I want what I do to be at least a little bit of realistic, where I I think there's a chance that this capitulation could cause a massive low for crypto overall. We're like, okay, we look at total 3 market cap. This could be a chance that's the low, but I also don't want I don't want to feed you guys like George hype and FOMO being like, yeah, man, like, don't worry, guys, just continue to continue to DCA, continue to hodl, right? I don't want to be that guy either, right? So I want to be realistic, right? We've never seen something like this for altcoins, okay? We've never seen anything like this, okay? Not as far as the dump, but as far as the regulation aspect of crypto, right? And I will be a big buyer of altcoins, okay? I think this. I want to make 2 points. I think there's a chance that this could cause the low. We still could go down lower this weekend. Don't get me wrong. Like, this could just be the first setup, and then we could go down lower tomorrow, right? But I think this capitulation this weekend, even if we do go lower, could end up being the low for altcoins. But I'm also want to see strength before I buy. Okay, I want to see strength before I buy, and I want to make this clear, right? So if altcoins bounce from here, I don't want you guys to be like, oh, Jordan was bearish on the altcoins. I'm actually not. But I also don't want to be throwing my money at these because I think it's a little bit of a falling knife right now. So like I said this, I would rather see altcoins get back into the range, and I would rather buy higher, right? I would rather buy higher when I see a reason to be like super optimistic than sort of buy down here. And that's just me, okay? So I want to make those 2 points clear. I'm not necessarily like calling for altcoins to go specifically lower than this, because a lot of them do have that sort of Wyckoff structure where we have that last capitulation phase. But I would rather buy higher on altcoins. That's kind of like my main point is, it is what it is, right? You got to kind of pick a side. And just like to use Chainlink for an example, I think Chainlink's the perfect example of this, right? I'm not necessarily bearish on Chainlink here, but at the same point, I would rather buy here when we get back into the range than buy here. Okay, and that's just kind of going based off the swing failure pattern and whatnot. So that's the way I'm looking at it right now, man. Let's see. Clint said, you are a genius and an idiot at the same time somehow. Buying alts. Thank you, Clint. Thank you, Clint. Thank you, Clint. Just bought some more Litecoin, but keeping some cash on the side. Yeah. I think today is a good example of keeping some cash on the side. Like, this is a perfect example. Wayne said, in the future, you don't use fiat to buy Bitcoin. You use Bitcoin to buy fiat. I'm hoping, Wayne. I'm hoping that's the future, man. You know what I mean? I'm definitely pulling for that. I definitely am positioned in that way. We're hopefully eventually, me and Clinty are out here slinging stocks. We're out here slinging stocks. We're buying Tesla with Bitcoin, man. That's what I want, right? Me and Clint are out here going, you know what? I think I want to buy Tesla for 0.5 Bitcoin today. 0.5 Bitcoin for one Tesla, instead of saying, you know what, I want to buy Tesla for $300. Well, we want to buy Tesla with 0.5 Bitcoin. Right? Hopefully me and one day, Clint, that's what me and Clint are doing, But yeah, so that's it. There's a potential for the Wyckoff in here. I know it doesn't seem like it. This is when you least expect it. And kind of like how we've been saying at the lows, man. It's you go back to Bitcoin like this, right? Let me just add this on, right? Let's go. How do we do that? Replay. Here we go. If we go to Bitcoin right here, right? Let me go one step further. I haven't used this in a while. Play. Give me one more candle, man. Give me one more candle, bro. What is this? Come on, go. Right? Like this, right? If we go back to Bitcoin right here. Just like this. Remember how this felt? This felt freaking horrible. Right? You guys remember this? This kind of looks like the altcoin charts right now, right? Like, this looked absolutely pathetic right here. Okay? Now, once again, I think looking back at it, now Bitcoin's a little bit different. I think you feel more comfortable buying Bitcoin here, right? Like, for example, buying Bitcoin on this candle was a little bit more comfortable than buying the altcoins, right? So it's a little bit different. But if we're looking at this for an altcoin, dude, the easiest play on this, okay? The easiest play on this was, okay, you draw the lows, and you can say to yourself, okay, here we are. Here we are for the altcoins. And this is kind of my example for altcoins right now, right? I don't feel comfortable buying Bitcoin here. It's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin's more comfortable to buy because it's, you guys know why. But we look at this as an altcoin chart and we say, okay, here we are. We got the big capitulation down. We've seen the first low, the second low. We got the third low in here, okay? Now, how can we be safe with that, with also getting a good entry, right? How can we get a good entry, but also be slightly safe? We could say, okay, we got the low, but now, right, if we don't want to be too risky, we can say, okay, we can wait till Bitcoin breaks above here, right? If Bitcoin swing fails and gets back up here, we can say, all right, I can still get a good entry on Bitcoin at like 18,000, 19,000, and then we can ride this back up, right? And eventually, right, that was kind of, right, if we kind of played this out a little bit, let's do this. If we kind of played this out, right? Because, okay, you know, I may not feel a little bit comfortable. Now, once again, Bitcoin's a little bit different, but you got to get my point, right? But I don't feel comfortable right now. I don't want to buy. I don't want to buy. Oh, we're building a nice little base. There's a chance. There's a chance we're building a little bit of a base. All right, we're building a little bit of a base. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Boom. We hit a high. All right. Bitcoin, all right, it's coming up a little bit. All right, let me make this faster. This is too slow. All right, there we go, right? Oh, okay. All right, we got rejected. All right, cool. We might go lower. Oh, we're coming back up. Oh, boom. All right, so boom. We get back above. And then we could have got in right here on the Wyckoff and said, all right, cool, there we go. Right? Wyckoff accumulation. Boom. And you guys know what happened from there, right? Boom, 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 boom. We continue up, right? So that's the way I'm kind of looking at it with altcoins right now. And I'm playing it this way with alts because they're a little bit more risky, right? And any day, alts can go down 20%, especially now, right? With hedge funds, you got hedge funds dumping these things. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at with these, right? Okay, Chainlink bottom somewhere in here, all right? We wait for it to get back up into here. Boom! There we go. All right, Wyckoff, we're going up. That's the way I'm looking at it. So I'm not necessarily bearish on, like completely bearish at this point. But like I said, I want to see some strength in there. And I kind of use Bitcoin as an example as that, you know? What we got? Love said altcoins could spend a week or two at this levels. Facts. Yeah, it definitely could. It definitely could. That is for sure. That is for sure. Yo, G Money, what's up, homie? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man. All right, let's go back over. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat today. We got the newest subscriber. We got Sunment in the chat. Shout out to everyone who's coming in here, man. Like I said, not a good day for alts. Bitcoin, at least holding up for now. We'll see if Bitcoin has a little bit more momentum to the downside just yet, but definitely a crazy day to wake up to altcoins getting sent back to the shadow realm as more Bitcoin and ETH maxis, actually probably just more Bitcoin maxis, get born today. Born today in a new shadow realm. Let's see. Just bought 100 million ship. Nice, Ernest, man. Good luck for you, man. I hope it works out for you, dude. Hope it works out for everyone, man. Whether you're a bear or a bull, I always hope that everyone's making money, man. Unfortunately, in the market, not everyone can make money, you know? But I hope everyone's out there making money, slinging those trades, slinging those buys, slinging those sells, and doing everything they could. For Hoopty said, shout out to all the crypto Vikings. Let's go, man. We still got all the crypto Vikings in here. And like I said, the more you kind of shake out, in the short term, it's not great, but you know, we kind of said this earlier, the more you kind of shake out these altcoins and the more that money goes into Bitcoin, the better it is for the space. At least in the short term, man. You know? So that's what you got going on. But shout out to we got Chris Burns said Coinbase got the money and power to take the SEC to war. Oh yeah, they're gonna go to war like the Vikings, you know. But we'll see that more tomorrow, I guess. It's gonna be an interesting week. Next week is an interesting week, guys. Right? I know it's like we're talking about the altcoins capitulating, but like I said, we got a very, very interesting week coming up next week. A lot of shit. Next week's gonna be fun, right? Next week is gonna be fun to see what happens. You know what I mean? There's a lot of catalysts for upside and to the downside next week. You know. So it'll be very, very fun. CPI next week, right? Trueflation showing 2.74%. It's not going to be this. The market is expecting 4.1%. So the market's expecting a big decrease on inflation, which I agree. We've been talking about that for quite a bit. So market expects 4.1%. If it comes lower than that, you'll probably see a massive pump on the markets. If it comes higher, you know, obviously the market usually doesn't like that. And then the day after, you got the FOMC meeting. You got Jerome the Gnome Powell. Will the Fed pause rates? Will the Fed raise 25 basis points? The market is expecting 70% chance that the Fed pauses on Wednesday. You know, if he raises 25, we're doomed. We're probably doomed at that point. But if they pause, which the market expects, yeah, I think that's pretty much a nothing burger. And then we got XRP shit, and we got Coinbase versus SEC shit next week. So we got some interesting stuff coming up next week, guys. As hedge funds are dumping their crypto. All right, hedge funds are dumping the crypto. You know what I mean? So that's what we got. That's what we got, man. We got a lot of apathy in the space. We got a lot of fear in the space right now. That is what you typically see, right? When you see these massive candles in here, that's typically what you see on capitulation events. So clearly a lot of capitulation today. It's probably, I mean, who knows what happens for the rest of the weekend. I probably expect more, not like more like significant lower prices, but more retail capitulating their altcoins as they wake up today, as the whole world sort of, you know, as Asia wakes up, you know, all that shit. As the Europeans go, oh, it's not lunchtime anymore. It is not lunchtime anymore. Right? And a lot of fear in the markets, right? But you know, considering where Bitcoin is above 25.2, we'll see if it holds up here for the rest of the weekend. But as of right now, it's not really a big deal for Bitcoin at the moment, as Bitcoin kind of just holds. And at the end of the day, how do you measure crypto? You measure it by where Bitcoin is, not where everything else is. So that's what we got for the corn at the moment. Guys. But anyways, I'm gonna call it a stream, guys. Just want to do a quick update today. You guys got my thoughts. You got everything going on in the space, and once again, I think a lot of times these capitulation lows can cause the lows in the markets. But for me, I'm gonna wait for some strength in those to do anything with it. So I'm out of the day, guys. Enjoy your Saturday. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the weekly close stream. Stay easy, stay up front, enjoy your weekend. I really doubt that we see anything more this weekend, even though I said that yesterday and you saw a massive dump. So anyways, see you guys later. Later, Gators. I'll be in the Discord hanging out during the day. Peace, guys. Whoops.